The echoes of the forgotten path. The train rattled along the worn tracks, slicing through the mist that clung to the rolling hills like a ghostly shroud. Leonard Gray, an old man with a lifetime of predictable routine, pressed his forehead against the cold glass, watching the landscape blur past. The rhythmic clatter of steel against steel was strangely soothing, yet deep within him, a fire burned, a restlessness that had festered for decades. He had never traveled before, not once. But now, with retirement closing the book on his ordinary life, he felt an unexplainable pull to the unknown. He had to see, to know, to experience. His journey led him from bustling cities with neon veins that pulsed through the night, to quiet villages where time dripped slowly, like honey. He wandered through ancient ruins, feeling the whispers of forgotten souls brush against his skin. He stood beneath waterfalls that roared with untamed beauty and walked through markets that smelled of spices, history, and untold secrets. Everywhere he went, he collected moments, each one a puzzle piece fitting into the mosaic of his rediscovered existence. One evening, in the heart of an old European town, Leonard found himself drawn to a narrow alley lit by a single flickering lantern. A strange force urged him forward. He stepped into the shadows, and the world shifted. The walls, once solid, seemed to breathe. The cobblestones beneath his feet pulsed with a heartbeat that was not his own. At the end of the alley stood an antique shop, its sign swaying despite the absence of wind. "Curiosities and Echoes," it read. A bell tinkled as he stepped inside. The scent of old books, melted wax, and something unfamiliar enveloped him. The shelves overflowed with trinkets, each humming with unseen energy. Behind the counter, an old woman with piercing violet eyes watched him. "You seek something you cannot name," she murmured, her voice like rustling parchment. Leonard hesitated. He had never been a man of mystery or magic. He had lived by logic and reason, yet something about this place whispered of truths he had ignored for too long. The woman reached beneath the counter and placed a small, worn journal before him. "This belongs to you," she said. Leonard frowned. "That's impossible. I've never been here before." The woman only smiled. "Not in this life." His fingers trembled as he picked up the book. The leather was worn soft, the pages brittle with age. But as he opened it, his breath caught. The handwriting was unmistakably his own. The words chronicled a life he did not remember. Tales of love and heartbreak, of triumphs and failures, of battles fought in lands he had never stepped foot in. And among the pages, a name appeared again and again: Alara. A sudden wave of memories crashed over him. A vision of a woman with storm-gray eyes and laughter like wind chimes filled his mind. A love so deep, so powerful, yet lost to time. He gasped, clutching the counter for support. "Who is she?" he whispered. "She is waiting," the woman said simply. A sharp knock at the door jolted him back to the present. When he turned back, the shop was gone. Only an empty alley stretched before him. Clutching the journal, Leonard felt something stir inside him. He had traveled far, but now he realized his true journey had just begun. Guided by the cryptic clues in the journal, Leonard followed the trail of his forgotten past. The journey led him to a remote village perched on the edge of an ancient forest. The air buzzed with something unseen yet deeply familiar. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, he wandered through the towering trees. The deeper he went, the more the world seemed to change. The air thickened with whispers, shadows stretched unnaturally, and the scent of jasmine and firewood filled his lungs. And then he saw her, Alara. She stood beneath an ancient oak, unchanged by time, her eyes wide with wonder and sorrow. "You found me," she breathed. Tears burned his eyes. "I don't understand." She stepped forward, cupping his face in her hands. The touch was electric, awakening something ancient within him. "You made a promise," she whispered, "to find me again, beyond time, beyond lifetimes." Memories surged, another life, another world, where they had loved fiercely but had been torn apart by fate. A curse had separated them, trapping her between realms, while he was reborn again and again, always searching, always forgetting, until now. Understanding bloomed within him. "How do I break this?" Alara smiled, sadness and hope woven together. "You already have." The world trembled. A blinding light engulfed them, and when it faded, they stood in a different time, a different place, together. Leonard, now young again, held Alara's hand as they stepped forward into the unknown. For the first time in countless lifetimes, he was exactly where he was meant to be. And as he later told his grandchildren upon his return, the world is bigger than you think, and life experience is not measured by age, but by what you do in it.